Welcome to CCTV America. I'm Mike Walter. A day after the first wave of U.S. airstrikes near Baghdad, Washington is buzzing over comments about the possible need for boots on the ground to defeat the Islamic State. A key congressional committee has been posing that question to top U.S. military leaders. Jessica Stone has been following the debate. She joins us live from our newsroom with more. Jessica.
And Mike, we should be clear that the buzz is about U.S. combat troops on the ground, the possibility being raised earlier today by top American General Martin Dempsey. He told a congressional panel Tuesday if there's a need, he will ask the U.S. president for American ground troops. All this as the Pentagon tried to make the case for congressional authorization to arm and train Syrian fighters. On the same day, a Syrian opposition group says Islamic State militants shot down a Syrian warplane for the first time. Pentagon officials asked members of the U.S. Congress to authorize training and equipment for the so-called moderate Syrian fighters expected to provide ground support for U.S. airstrikes against the militants.
In terms of defining a moderate opposition, I don't think that'll be difficult. Actually, the region has become so polarized that those who are radical in their ideologies have made their move, and those that have not have actually demonstrated great courage in not making a move.
General Martin Dempsey says the training could be ramped up in 3 to 5 months, with a training target of around 12,000 fighters, 5,000 in the first year. Saudi Arabia has volunteered to host the training. But after spending billions of U.S. dollars on training Iraqi forces who then abandoned their U.S.-made equipment to advancing Islamic State fighters, some American lawmakers complained the U.S. already tried this without success.
Makes no sense to me, and I can't sell it. I've tried on my... You can't sell this stuff. And no one believes the outcome will be any different.
I want us to win. I want us to defeat ISIS. But I want a plan that can be successful, and I'm not sure 5,000 trained in a year can be successful against 31,000.
Republicans say they need bipartisan support from Democrats to authorize this strategy. And adding to skepticism on Capitol Hill, the Pentagon raised the possibility of U.S. troops going into combat as advisors if the need arose.
If we reach the point where I believe our advisors should accompany Iraq troops on attacks against specific ISIL targets, I'll recommend that to the president.
And the White House pushing back forcefully, saying General Dempsey was speaking about a hypothetical situation, basically a hypothetical question that was posed to him, and that the U.S. president is still committed to not sending American combat troops back to the region. Mike, meantime, he will get a personal briefing on the U.S. military strategy on Wednesday morning when he visits U.S. Central Command in Florida.
Jessica, some in Congress sounded skeptical about the plans to arm moderates in Syria. When might we see a decision from these lawmakers?
Well, it looks like we're going to see a decision by the U.S. House of Representatives possibly tomorrow, and then it would go to the Senate. As we know, the House is going to only be in session up until Thursday, at least that's the current schedule. So it remains to be seen whether both of these houses can pass the authorization needed to get those Syrian moderate opposition forces armed and ready to accommodate the U.S. airstrike plan in Syria.
Jessica Stone, live for us in our newsroom.